bos kami dah beli. Dia tak kasih buat aktiviti kat sini tau.
Apa-apa pun tak nak.
Cik!
Cik, bye! Sekarang ni tembak pisau aku. Bukan tembak untuk kamu semua main-main. Faham? Aku dengar nama orang tak letak firman yang lengkap. Tak tahu tak dari mana. Kalau mau belajar, kamu pergi cari tempat lain. Diamlah. Jangan buat bising. Dasar bagus sudah komplain.
Saya faham Cikgu Siti. Tapi budak ni tak ada sijil lahir, tak ada dokumen.
Tak bagi budak-budak ni pergi sekolah kan? Tak apa. Biar aku je yang dekatkan sekolah dengan diorang.
Boleh tak saya tukar apple ni dengan buku tu?
Yang ni? Boleh je. Nah. Tak apa, awak simpan je apple tu, okey?
Betul ke?
Betul.
Terima kasih, Kak.
Okay, so A untuk?
Apple.
B untuk?
Ball.
C untuk?
Cat.
Nah, lah cepat.
Walaupun dia tak ada dokumen, cik, dia tetap ada masa depan.
Peraturan tetap peraturan.
Kalau dah tak ada jalan lain, cik, memang masa depan budak-budak ni tertutup selamanya, cik. Budak-budak ni tak minta kemewahan. Diorang cuma minta peluang. Kalau maksud sebenar raya adalah untuk buka pintu dan hati, inilah masanya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Untuk kita buka pintu untuk mereka ni semua. Bos, shop kita terbakar sebab ada orang buang rokok. Kita kena cari tempat lain.
Mr. Lim, saya nak jemput awak ke rumah terbuka hari raya nanti.
Bukankah itu maksud sebenar raya?
Pergi. Pergi.
Dulu aku fikir sekolah untuk yang ada. Cikgu ajar ilmu untuk semua. Walau datang tanpa nama, di sini kami semua diterima.
Haji, bye-bye, bye-bye. Tempat ini tempat ini nama orang pakai je. Tapi jangan bising sangat.
Cikgu nak awak ingat satu pesan cikgu, okey? Ilmu yang kita ada, kita kena kongsikan dengan semua.
Tahun depan boleh tak saya ajar budak baru?
Boleh.
Terima kasih, cikgu.
my kids in Chocolate to become the future. They can be proud of themselves telling that I am the street children that came out from the Bujang and Chocolate. And I'm here to change humanity. I'm here to change how people live. Okay, done.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Morning Kappa. Here we come to the victory of April with futures. Before we begin, let's go for a disclaimer. We'd like to highlight a brief disclaimer. Trading in futures and options involve a high level of risk due to leverage may be not suitable for all investors. This presentation is intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not consist an invitation or recommendation to buy or sell any financial instruments. Please consult your licensed broker or financial advisor before making any decision. The overall market profile has shifted significantly this week. Sentiment took a sharp turn following the collapse of a high-stack peace talk, effectively ending the market's hope phase. However, the recent announcement by the United States that the door is open for renewed talks has eased fears of out of this conflict, calming investor anxiety. Most spots now show an unclear direction, moving out of active trade. Trending faces into a heavy concentration of neutral profiles. Momentum has weakened across the board compared to last week's cycle. Previous metal and agriculture products experienced the most dramatic changes last week, shifting decisively towards a neutral bias. This marked a critical turning point for these sectors. Besides the short-term volatility, the long-term outlook for U.S. market, including the Nasdaq and S&P 500, as well as Nikkei 225, remain positive. Notably, their immediate trading profile has turned into fully positive. For Asian market, Hang Seng Index has stabilized, transitioning from a negative profile to neutral this week. Meanwhile, the A50 has shifted to positive, while maintaining a neutral overall trend. The energy and agriculture sector has shifted towards more neutral and negative profile this week. After holding trading profile in week 2, crude oil has eased into a neutral profile through its overall long-term trend remain positive. And soybean oil remain positive, and natural gas, the weakest performance in energy sector, holding firmly to a negative profile. Gold is under our radar. Recently, gold experienced a steady value buying as traders anticipated the possibility of ceasefire. This momentum pushed prices higher over the past 2 weeks, reaching the resistance of 4866 level. Over the weekend, the collapse of the peace talk combined with the U.S. announcement of naval blockade on Iranian port triggered a brief fear spike in gold. As a result, prices opened with a significant gap down on Monday before recovering later in the session. At present, gold appears to be retesting the 4866 resistance level. Should it break through, the next key resistance level to watch is 4972. Any failure to breach will trigger the price fall back to 4422. WTI, following the collapse of the peace talk and the naval blockade on the Iranian port, WTI opened with a sharp gap up, reaching to 105 level. Shortly after, Reuters reported that the door is open. The shifted market focus away from the concern over physical shortage and towards the potential for diplomatic resolution. As a result, WTI was rejected at the 105 resistance level and retreated below 100. As a result, prices have since broken below 100 level, finding support around 95. The market is at the juncture of deciding the next path. Any support above 95 will likely turn the market back to 102 and higher. If 95 fail to support, a correction to 91 or 86 may follow. The China A50 is currently acting as an anti-correlation play, while US and European markets struggle with geopolitical shocks. The A50 is trading on a domestic recovery story. It is benefiting from a rare alignment of positive domestic data. Most notably, the PPI turned positive for the first time in 41 months, rising 0.5 year-over-year. This indicates that China's economy is showing broadening recovery momentum. As a result, we see potential for a bullish trend ahead. The key resistance level to monitor is 15,750, while immediate support is 14,380. To audit last week, we had one call with a realized profit and another call which is still pending for trigger. And Micro Gold was our call last week. We hit our target at 4855 with a gain of 1,500, and the risk of reward ratio is almost 1:2. The second call that we had last week was soybean oil. Soybean oil is still pending to trigger the reference price. Although yesterday it actually went down, but it went down the lowest at 65.51. So this call is still pending, it's not triggered yet. Well, as usual, the highlight of our briefing, the future market call. Building on last week's momentum, we are anticipating a positive short-term chart setup at A50. So the initial investment is USD 1067, and the reference entry price is 15070. And potential profit is at 15,730, and potential loss price is below 14,750. So the risk on reward ratio for this trade is 1:2. The second call that we are looking at is micro Bitcoin. Will be trading on April month. We anticipated a positive short-term chart setup in micro Bitcoin. The initial investment is 1,942, and the short-term chart setup is positive. Reference price is 74,380, and the potential profit price is 76,380, 79,300, and 84,000. And the potential loss is below 72,000. This risk and reward ratio for this trade is 1 to 1.5 to 4 times. So if you like what we have discussed today, there's never been a better time to start. We are currently rewarding new traders through our Trade with Passion 2.0 campaign, where you will enjoy zero brokerage fee up to 500 for the first month. At RHB, we believe in the double bonus experience, and every trade you place also automatically qualify you for a trade and win campaign, giving you chances to win a Tesla. Reach out to us or drop us an inquiry over RHB TradeSmart website to get started. And lastly, we are thrilled to invite you to our exclusive nationwide Futures Mass Retail event. We're kicking off on this Saturday, the Saturday 9th of May at Nexus Connection, Bangsa South. Join us for experts from CME and RHB. They will share vital markets trend and trading strategy to help you navigate today's dynamic environment. We also will bring this session to Bayview Hotel in Penang on the 20th of June, and also in a Holiday Inn in JB on the 18th of July. So to secure a spot, please RSVP with your dealer or contact us via TradeSmart website. Seats are limited and allocation on first come first serve basis. We hope to see you there. That's all from me. Thank you for your time, and we'll pass to the next speaker, Joseph. Thanks.
All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Morning Cuppa at 8, and thank you, Megan, on the Futures weekly update. As we have heard what Megan have mentioned, the China market is actually coming back on a bullish sentiment, and you can see that yesterday, right, in the evening, the Hang Seng have climbed above 26,000 point, but the evening session is still in progress. We shall wait until right, the Hang Seng break past 26,600 point level, right? So at this juncture, the bulls have grown stronger since the Hang Seng have climbed above both 20 as well as 50 days moving average. Now, a few news that we have read so far, right? Oil tankers start to actually exit from the Strait of Hormuz amid that there's a US blockade. But meanwhile, look at the US side, right? The US crude stocks rose to a 3-year high, right? As the number published by the EIA, this is a US energy agency, right? Saying that despite that there's a shortage or huge demand on the crude, right? But the US crude stocks continue to stay higher. Then on the European Energy Agency (IEA) cut their forecast, stating that due to the higher oil price, the demand will be dampened this year, right? So all these news actually have come in and lead the market sentiments think that the demand will be weaker, hence the room for corrections on the oil price, right? Since the escalations, since the conflict in the Hormuz Straits have actually de-escalated so far. Now, as for the Hong Kong stocks market, trading stocks I'll be looking at firstly, WuXi Biologics, stock code 2269. The counter at break past Hong Kong dollar 36, heading to 39 and followed by 42. Downside support is 34. Then on we have Lenovo, Lianxiang 992, eyeing to break past $10.50. So if breakout happens, it will testing next one at 11.50 and followed by 12.50. Downside support is at Hong Kong dollar $9.80. Now, as of US market equities index, I can see the S&P 500 managed to stay above 6850 yesterday. So this is actually a confirmation bullish breakout on the 6850. Just recall that when the war started in the 28th of February, right, what we do see is that the correction started off in the early March. You went to as low as 6350. But as of now, the S&P 500 have climbed above the level before the war, feeling that the sentiment is bullish right now and the market are willing to give higher premium on the US stocks so far. As such, with this momentum, likelihood that the S&P may test 7,000 level in coming days. Just to recall that this year, I think the year-to-date high is at 7,000. Despite that, in the early the January month of this year, right? S&P only one session managed to close above the 7,000. So we shall see that during this April corporate earnings seasons, whether the S&P can climb above 7,000 this level. Meanwhile, for the S&P to really climb above 7,000 and stay above 7,000, right, the blue chips, the heavyweights in S&P must lead the market. As such, we do see that yesterday, right, our funds actually are going into NVIDIA, right, the Amazon, Intel, Meta, Microsoft. These are the big cap counters in the US. Despite that, money continue to go into the memory sector. You can see that Micron is almost trading at an all-time high right now, followed by SanDisk, Western Digital, and so forth. So if you believe that the index is going to stay above 7,000 and it may go much higher from there, right, I think we shall pay attention to the heavyweights in the US market. Now, i.e., I'll be looking at NVIDIA to lead this round of a rally, right? You can see that NVIDIA, right, have managed to break out from their consolidation zone. It has been a few months that NVIDIA has been trading around at 185 as of yesterday, based on the price volume profile. The NVIDIA has climb above 185, heading towards 210 and followed by 220. Right, same as Malaysia, right? So for the FKLI to actually move higher, we shall look at our blue chip stocks as well. So right now, the FKLI is eyeing to stage a technical rebound. The first resistance will be 1720 and followed by 1760. Downside, 1650 will be the immediate support for FKLI. Following the corrections in the oil market, FCPO also experienced fresh correction yesterday, falling below the 4,005. So you can see that for the past 1 week, FCPO has been charting a lower high and lower low. The immediate support is at 4,004, which intersect with the 50 days moving average. We shall see whether today, right, FCPO can stay above 4,004, this immediate support level. Now, as for the market recently, you can see that sentiment have been very positive on the tech stock in the Malaysian market. You can see that a few tech counters have started to break out yesterday. We'll be looking at a smallish in the tech sector space, such as Coraza, which right now research have a buy call. And yesterday, Coraza have jumped above 65 cents, right now heading towards 58, followed by 72 and 76. So for the past few months, you can see that Coraza has been trading around this volume profile between 62 and 59 cents. So as of now, we think that 59 will be a very strong support level, and definitely sentiment is very positive on Coraza so far. So you may put Coraza in your watch list, right? Meanwhile, looking at some of the blue chip stocks, I might have looked at the Sunway, which will break past 5 ringgit and 20 cents. And right now, Sunway is heading towards 550 and followed by 570. Downside is support at 5 ringgit. Secondly, we have constructions giant Gamuda climb above 4 ringgit and 5 cents, going towards 440 and followed by 470. Downside support 380, right? So we have two breakout stock, Sunway and followed by Gamuda. I'll stop here and pass on to Max on the YTL Power. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. So we released a YTL Power report. We maintain our buy call with a higher target price of 5 ringgit, up from 4 ringgit and 50 cents. This represents a 37% upside and gives you about 3% yield. Essentially, we do see YTL Power as a potential beneficiary of the prolonged Middle East crisis. This is mainly because we do expect that their gas cost is secured at a much stable fixed price, whereas retail electricity prices in Singapore could spike in tandem with higher energy prices. Recently, in our recent oil and gas sector report, we have assumed a close to $80 per barrel sort of Brent crude oil forecast for financial year 27, which is from July 2026 until June 2027, effective for YTL Power. If you look at Singapore, essentially the Singapore government late last month had basically announced a 2% tariff hike for electricity prices. This is mainly to account for higher energy costs from 1st of January until 15th of March. Hence, the government have basically indicated that they will probably see a much sharper electricity tariff hike in the third quarter of this year, meaning from July onwards, in order to reflect the prevailing higher energy costs, or i.e. Brent fuel cost price. Given that, we think that YTL Power could see a much stronger earnings in the second half of this calendar year, given that the electricity tariff will basically reflect that higher energy cost as well. In our report, we did a sensitivity test. Basically, every sort of a 10 ringgit increase in Brent oil price will improve the purity margins for their Power Seraya by about 2 percentage points. And this results in about 6% increase in both earnings as well as fair value based on FY27 numbers. Apart from that, we also think that YTL Power is also a front runner to build new gas plants, just given that they already sort of secured or reserved three gas turbines. Given there's a global shortage of gas turbines, or rather there's a very long waiting period for gas turbines, this basically places them at the forefront because they can probably take physical delivery of these turbines as soon as next year. meaning given that we really do need to build our new gas plants as soon as possible to meet the energy demand, we think they are a front runner to win the bid. Hence, assuming if let's say if they do win a bid to build a 2.1 gigawatts, so this is 3 gas turbines, we estimate a sort of 8% accretion to our target price. Aside from that, in our report for YTL Power, we also basically has increased our capacity for the data center business because management has indicated that's already secured about 300 megawatts compared to 188 megawatts capacity earlier this year. They are also looking at a potential IPO listing, and if this happens, then perhaps we will see some sort of a crystallization of value for their DC data center business as well. Overall, we maintain our buy. I think that YTL Power I think they have done quite well in the past 2 weeks or so, but I think there's still more legs to run, given that they are potential beneficiary from the higher energy price, as well as the potential upside from a new gas plant win as well. So that's all from us for today. I hope we wish you a good day of trading, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning for our morning cuppa.